Yeah, okay. Hi everyone, this is Prasad. You probably might know me. A lot of times we've been met in this free webinars and everything. Coming to myself, as usual, I do have like around 6 years of experience only in Power BI and then 11 years of experience outside that one and then after that. So I do training in several institutions and then I do corporate training, a lot of things that we do. Right? So right now, as per a lot of people are asking, like we want to like make interview sessions, discussion also. These are the questions that were brought by my previous batch students, recent interviews. So I promise you that we will make a TCS interview also very soon in the last week. So this is where we were, right? So today, complete webinar is regarding TCS 3+ years of experience, Power BI and SQL candidate interview, and then we are covering only the Power BI based questions. Yeah. So again, like the procedure that happens in TCS is somewhat different between other companies. Let me tell you that, explain you that a bit in the beginning so that you can understand. So recent times, in Power BI especially, I'm not sure with the other technologies or whatever it might be, but in Power BI, TCS is recruiting people in two ways. One is direct recruitment, and the second one is vendor-based recruitment. So TCS is taking in both the two ways, and then we do have more opportunities in vendor-based only. Like direct recruitment from TCS is limited, so we do have only limited number of posts or opportunities directly. mm, what you call it as direct posts, but most of the posts are there through the vendors only, like third party people. So third party people will call you, they might call you from the consultancies or third party, whatever it might be, and you will need to apply, you will need to go into that interview and then you need to fulfill that, and then that would be like a part of like contract based in the first earlier 6 months, and after that you'll get a permanent post. This is how it happens, right? Or some cases you'll be like having okay direct um, mm, mm, uh, post only through the third party. So this is what happens a lot of times, and then make sure, as per my knowledge and then as per okay my experience with a lot of my friends and colleagues and even my okay so a lot of other people. So I come to know like what is the structure of like okay interview. So you will have questionnaire from okay 5 to 6 years of like not more than that, like 4 to 5 years of experience. People will do interview if you are coming from a third party vendor, and then if you are getting into that organization through the third party, and the first 6 months will be contract based. After that, you'll get into like permanent position of TCS. Again, that is also through this particular third party. So you'll have your payroll on that particular third party company, and then you'll work upon TCS. This is how it happens. So in that case, your interview, the one that is going to take your interview will be like not too much experienced, and then he will be like okay 4 to 5 years of experience. So your questions will be like limited, and then you'll have like easier way to answer things. And whenever it is direct recruitment for teachers, obviously like some other higher end people, so who are already into the organization, constantly working in that one, maybe like technical heads or someone like will take the interview, and that time the interview stays are like okay, the questionnaire will be like a little bit tough, and then you need to like give good answers at that point. So these two things that you need to like keep in your mind. So if you are going through a third party and then first 6 months is contract, and the next okay you'll get into that particular position, even though if you are okay finished your contract position, you will be through the third party. Basically your payroll company will be something else, and then you work for TCS. If you are going in this kind of condition, then your interview will be a little bit okay, like not too tough. But if you are going directly applying for a post in TCS, no third party or something else, then that would be like a higher standard of like questionnaire interview. So this is what I want to explain you in the beginning. So as a lot of people asking like what is the structure of TCS interview, how many roles and rounds, and then what will happen. And again, in the TCS, okay, so if it is like a permanent role, if you applied okay on based upon 2 or 3 skill sets, different people will come and sit okay for that particular skill set. If Someone is having like all the technical skills on that one, he's going to do, but most of the times, okay, couple of people, 2 or 3 people will come and sit to interview you, or else the rounds will increase. This is what happens in general. It is not all the cases, but most of the cases, the same structure. So let's go into the question, which was recently handled, okay, or done by one of my students. Okay, so I took that particular interview questionnaire, entire things, and then I just wanted to explain you with you people. So let's make it in a discussion way. Like if you have any answers for that, you can explain me so that I'll correct that if it is right way or not, or else like we'll go into the session. And again, in the ending of the session, I'm going to give you very good interview tips and tricks. So how you can achieve, or what are the things that you need to handle, and then what kind of way that you need to explain so that you can succeed in each and every interview, not only in the TCS, in each and every interview, how you need to like answer that, and then that kind of things that we'll discuss in mid or like ending of the session. So don't miss anywhere. Don't skip or something else this video, right? So let's go into that things. So first of all, before going into the intro, like session, like the small intro, like we teach Power BI and SQL batches, and then we also teach real-time project batches. We are starting very soon, like already earlier batches coming to end up. So next batch is going to start very soon. So if you're interested people, we can contact on this number. And then please join our Telegram group, which is Power BI with Prasad on Telegram. And then you can subscribe our YouTube channel also, like Power BI Prasad, so that you have a lot of other contents, videos, sessions, and real-time scenarios, projects, and a lot of like free webinars, and then like workshops, a lot of other things that you can find in our YouTube channel. If you're interested, just definitely go ahead, click subscribe, and then watch. Please try to share and like the video if you really like appreciate my efforts about it might be. Right, let's go into the first question. A common question that I always tell that if you have this question, if you use this properly, then that is the best part that you can do in your interview. This question is very important, and then if you handle this thing perfectly, the way that I taught a lot of times. Okay, again, I'll discuss this thing in the ending, how to make this very impactfully so that we can, and the entire interview will be based upon this. So again, I'm not going to like, okay, confuse you at this instance. So this is like, tell me about yourself. If you are good at your communication skills, and then if you are um, more confident on the complete Power BI architecture, and then how it happens, like what are the stages, how you need to like flow of Power BI until the end of services. If you have this kind of like okay, information in you, like you can portray all the things over here, like with a proper story building. You need to have a capability of story building. For that, you need to practice before the sessions, not in the sessions. So, okay, so right. So this is the way that how you portray yourself in this one. So again, the second question is very important. A lot of times, okay, I'll come up with this one. So on what domains did you work? So a lot of times people keep okay similar kind of domains in their projects, sales project or single project or two projects. But what I so yeah, the one who joined right now, like okay, can you please make yourself mute so that okay others don't have any disturbances. So that's fine. Thank you so much. And then okay, my advice is to keep at least okay, if you are keeping 3 years of experience, you can. A lot of people suggest you to keep okay two projects. But what I suggest is to at least go for 3 projects so that it will be like give you a chance to keep more domains in your resume or whatever it might be. Let me give you an example. So let us suppose that I'm an interview. I'm looking for a say not a sales one. I'm looking for an HR domain, or else I'm looking for an healthcare domain. So you did not kept that. You've gone through with one sales project, or else both the projects that you kept in your resume are sales project. Then I feel somewhat uncomfortable at the stage. If I have anyone who have like healthcare domain which I'm looking for, I'll give preference for that candidate. So your resume selection also get scrutinized over here in this particular sector. So keep as many as domains that you would. It's not like okay, so keep on like whatever the domains that you get. Okay, keep on. Don't keep like that. If you have 3 years of experience, my advice is to go for 3 rather than 2, so that you can keep 3 projects in that one. So 2 projects, okay, so big projects, and then one project is like 8 months projects or something else. So in your 3 years of experience, and that's fine. So you don't keep like exactly 3, right? Okay, 3 2 3 2 3 4 3 6 like that. So obviously, based upon that, you can design your 3 projects, and then no one is going to ask you each and every project. But again, you need to have a minimum knowledge upon the project. So what I teach you, like what I advise you, is to create a common scenarios. So you can have common scenarios that will also I'll try to explain in the ending of the session. So keep watching until then. So I'll tell you like how to create a common scenarios and explain in each and every project. Whatever the project is, you create a 3 to 4 scenarios in each and every topic, and then you can portray them. If they ask, okay, no, I don't want to go with like recent project. I want to go with like sales project, earlier project. So some like healthcare project. In that scenario also, you can make some scenarios. So for that, you can make a common scenarios and keep it aside. So whatever the project they can ask, okay, you just indulge that particular scenario into that particular project. This is the easiest way to make yourself comfortable in the interview, like making yourself ready for each and everything. Whatever they ask, you need to like be able to answer that one. For that, so before only you need to create, you need to create a pre-designed scenarios which you can use in each and every, like whatever the project they ask, you can keep them in that. So that I'll explain later. So here, so domains, first of all, if you explain something, you need to have the domain knowledge. What is the terminology that you use? What is the column names? How it looks like? So you can have a lot of like this kind of data in a lot of websites. You have like, okay, data dot, okay, so gov.in or else data dot gov.vs or whatever it might be. And again, you have a lot of like data dot world or else world data world is there, and then like you do have some other websites, a lot of websites. If you want to find some stock data to projects or something else, you can get that kind of like websites. So a lot of websites also, you can download some data, and then you can first of all watch that data, like what is the column names that they have. Then you can understand like what is the data in that one and what is the column names that they're using, something like that. You can have some domain knowledge in that one, so you can use them. Without using a domain knowledge, you can't survive in the interview, because they can easily find that you are simply trained, not experienced. Because if you really worked in that one, you'll use the domain knowledge, like you can speak in that way, like forecasts, so actuals, sales, profits, revenues, these kind of words you will use, okay, when you really works, because you worked on that one for 1 year. Then obviously you get to know like what are the things that you do, what are the words that you use in your project. So that is what we call it as domain knowledge. So keep some domain knowledge on the projects that you are going to keep in your things that will work, obviously. So again, so if you explained a little bit, when they ask the previous question, if you explain only a little bit regarding the project, obviously they'll ask you to start upon your research project or something like this. Is what happened, I think, right? In this particular my students interview or whatever it might be. So beginning only, you need to explain in a continuous way so that they don't ask you any questions. And you can keep on like going on your content, and then they'll listen to that if you're good at like your communication skills or whatever it might be. Here you need to explain your recent project, whatever it might be. Again, the recent project means, again, it is not like somewhere you start and somewhere you end. There is a way, schematic way that you need to follow. If someone asks you your recent project, you need to tell the project name, whatever it is. Like some sales project, some you need to create. You will have already a project name, so you'll tell the project name and the client name, who is the client, and then which country is from. And then you worked for this 1.5 year or whatever the period that you worked on this particular project, you need to portray at that thing. After that, so what is the DB that you took from that you took the data from? Then what if you know like what is the modes of connections, and then afterwards how you get the data, how many tables, what is the schema of that one. And after that, okay, if you have like modeling, so what you've done in the modeling. And after that, the power, once after the power query, you'll go for the modeling. Then again, in the power query, what you did, you need to explain. And after that, modeling, and after that DAX and the visualization, what you've done, what is the interesting. You don't need to tell each and every things. You can tell that in that particular project, like we have been done with like several reports and dashboards. And after that, coming to this point, right, coming to the like DAX, you need to go through with like 2 to 3 important or else okay good scenarios that you already kept aside. So in the beginning only I told that you need to write some scenarios, okay, very good interesting scenarios aside, and then you can use them in your real time project, whether you done it or not. So good, if you find this is a good requirement that will suits in my project or something else, you can keep that kind of things in your project again. So I'll try to make some kind of like, okay, good scenarios, 5 to 6 scenarios at once, and then I'll share it in my YouTube channel. So you can see that one also later. So first of all, you need to tell the DAX also. And after that, okay, important key concepts you don't need to forget. So try to make scenarios on very good topics. Like, so you have filters, you have, okay, summarize, then like, okay, this kind of summarize and nonsense, like summarize column kind of things, ranking kind of things, so time intelligence kind of things, textual kind of things, date related kind of things. So these are like key concepts in Power BI. So we do have some other also, but I'm not going with each and everything. So on these key concepts, if you build some scenarios with combining of multiple functions, not single function, combination of multiple functions, if you create, okay, a couple of scenarios, at least 3 scenarios you need to build, and you can explain with the DAX at that scenario, then that's fantastic. And then most of the times, like, you are into that. And to explain all these things, it will take at least 15 to 20 minutes, right? So my advice every time is to consume the time properly. Consume the, don't give one word answers. Try to explain each and everything with an example, so that it will be more convenient for you also. And then you can explain that thing using using an example or scenario will be more easy to them also to understand what you're trying to tell. So one point that you need to remember is, if you when you try to like explain anything, uh, uh, right? So if you're unable to express your view to the interviewer, or else interviewer is unable to feel your answer or understand your answer, then obviously definitely they want you to write the DAX so that they can see and understand what you're trying to tell. So don't bring that difficulty for you people. So while you explain it in a very easy and neat way, so that they can understand that particular scenario and the DAX that you written. So that is what, first of all, you need to practice that one at least 1 or 2 times. How, so you will obviously prepare yourself the scenarios that you want to tell. So just portray them, record the voice, okay, how you tell, and then listen to that. So if you listen the same thing, then you understand how you're telling. So that is the easiest way to make it. So that's what I want to go here. I don't want to make it. I want to, because we do have a lot of scenarios over here in this particular interview. So we need to discuss that. So again, how many modes you can connect data into Power BI? How can you choose which one to use? So if anyone have this answer, you can go ahead, and then if anything needed, I'll correct that in a bit later. So if anyone had an idea or something else on this interview, you can go ahead. So if you don't have any answers for this one, definitely I'll let you know. Like, there are two important modes that we go with, is like import mode and direct query mode. A lot of people discuss regarding okay, live connections or something else. Okay, so that's, we keep it aside. Okay, we'll go with like, okay, most common things that we do in our Power BI career. So one is like import mode and direct query mode. Right. So I'll try to like keep content upon this import mode and direct query mode in the description of this particular video when we apply this into YouTube. So you can find that kind of documentation also regarding this in the YouTube description. Right. So again, so here, okay, how you choose which mode to use. First of all, so you need to understand what is the differences in between two modes, and then you can understand the import mode. You will get the entire data into Power BI, so it will consume the memory. And whenever it is in the direct query mode, okay, you'll import only the schema, means the tables, the column names, and then column data types. You don't get the data. So data may be like 1 lakh rows or 10,000 rows, whatever it means. You don't get the data. The data will be in the source only. You'll get the schema, and through that you'll work. So obviously, you'll have very less amount of like consumption of Power BI memory. Again, you people all know that, okay, so licenses, we do have Pro and Premium license, and then Pro, we do have limitation of 1 GB for one model. So create one model, so you have like limitation of 1 GB. So if your data is big, and then if you still wanted to use in Pro license, then okay, you can use the import, like direct query mode, because you're not going to get all the data, you're going to get only the schema. So that is the like, okay, that is where you need to decide which one to use. Again, the second thing is like, if the performance is more important. If you choose like, okay, so my performance need to be so fast, okay, no buffering, some kind of things. So then obviously in the import mode, you'll have the data itself in the memory of Power BI. But in the direct query, the data will be in the database. Again, every time you fire a query, you need to get the data from the DB and then show that. So obviously the performance will be so faster in import mode, and in direct query mode, the performance will be little bit slower than import mode. So these are the like differences between these two modes, and then you can explain this in the beginning, and after that explanation you can choose that based upon these scenarios. If the data is bigger, again you want to like make it in the pro, then you can take it in the direct query. If data performance is more important than like what are all the other things, then we'll go for this one. So you can explain like that. This is the way that first of all you need to explain the differences between them. What are the difference between them? And then based upon that, okay, obviously they'll also understand that, okay, you know, like, okay, the way that how you choose this one, which mode to use or whatever it might be, right? So again, sorry, again, okay, this question is regarding visualization, difference between buttons and shapes. Do we have, first of all, difference between buttons and shapes? So when we use buttons and when we use shapes, anyone, anyone have an idea? Like you can go with that, right? If not, like again, I'll give you answer. Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got another call. Okay. So that's fine. So again, are you people able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, bro.
Okay. So anybody have an idea like what the difference between buttons and shapes? We all know both, okay, having action, and then both we will use to give some actions, and then shapes we can use to keep as some backgrounds of some visuals also, and a lot of other things that we'll use using these things. So again, tweaking knowledge in visualization is more important. So doing something like achieving something which we don't expect in the visualization, you can use if you master this button shapes a lot, a lot. Remember, if you master the buttons and shapes a lot, you can do visual tweaking also. That is very interesting. And then if you are good at that kind of things, then obviously you'll get very good appraisals in your real-time things. So again, the basic difference, I just want to go with like basic difference between the shapes and buttons. Again, most of the options are like formatting things that we do have in the functionality is very same for both of the things. But the only thing that we do have the difference that we can tell is the settings. Like in the settings, you can have the on hover effect, on click effect. We can have on buttons. We don't have that one on shapes. A lot of times in visual, if you want to make it something like while you hover on that particular button, if you want to make something kind of like things, then we'll use that one on hover effects. If you don't know, like, okay, you can go ahead and see, take a button, and in the shapes you can find um, the button settings. In that you can see on hover, default, on hover, on click. Okay, so these kind of settings you can work with them, and then you can understand what's the difference between those two things, right? So again, just a minute, a lot of people are joining right now. So let me join them. And again, so what is the next question that we need to discuss? So again, this is very tricky question to check your expertise in Power BI, and then whether you are really experienced or not. Okay, to check this kind of things. Okay, this question was asked. Then explain possible ways to show a dynamic scalar value prominently. So again, so to show a scalar value prominently, which kind of visuals that you use? How, what are the ways that you like show this kind of, okay, dynamic scalar values? You need to understand each and everything, dynamic, scalar value, and then they wanted to show it in a prominent way. Anybody have an idea? A single value to show, like, let me explain this question in an easier way. The way they asked it is a little bit difficult to you understand. So, but definitely I'll make it very easy to understand you people to show that. I do have a single value. I want to show it in a big way. What kind of visual that you use? Obviously, people know that if we use card visual to show a single number or scalar value in a big way. So if you want to show a single number in like a big font or something else, okay, only single number, and then that is dynamic because you use some measure in that one. Obviously, based upon that, it will show the number that we do have. Like again, what are the other ways? Possible ways means if you have any other ways, there also you can. Those things also you can explain. That is the that is what they are expecting. I hope in this particular question. Second, you can simply drop, okay, that scalar well in the table, and then you can show that one also again. So that may not be the proper way to display, but that is where you can also show a dynamic scalar value, right? And there is another way. Most of people don't know that we can show a dynamic scalar value in a text also. You think that, okay, if you do something in the text, okay, text box, you can't, like, if it doesn't becomes a dynamic value, it will be static. You can't change it anywhere. No, we do have values and reviews kind of option in text box. If you go through that, okay, a bit, then you can understand that you can use a measure in a text box also, which will shows a dynamic a scalar value dynamically. If you change the total sales, it will obviously change. You don't need to do anything. So that's also there. If you can explain these three possible things, then obviously this question perfectly, and they can confidently feel that you are really experienced. This kind of things that you need to, like, okay, have an idea. So very rare times only this you can find this kind of things in YouTube or whatever it might be. But generally we discuss this kind of like visual tweaking also in our real time our batches or whatever it might be. So if you know this answer, that's very fine, or else you just have a look into your text box and then try to like give some take some measure total sales or something else in that particular values or reviews, and then you can find how it works on that one, right? Second, use case of funnel chart and tree map. So they may ask the question of like what are the charts that used, and then my student might have told, okay, a lot of visuals kind of things, and then they asked some of the visuals they wanted to know about whether they have like experience on this particular visuals or not. This is the scenario. So first of all, you need to tell what scenarios you'll use the tree map and the funnel charts. If anybody have an idea, you can go ahead and then give me the answer. No one have an idea on funnel chart and tree map, right? That's great. So, right. So here funnel chart is to show year on year percentage difference. So I do have 4 to 5 years, and then I want to find, okay, year on year comparison. Then that kind of thing times, okay, we will use funnel charts in our visualization or whatever it might be, and then tree maps. When you want to show the contribution of that particular segment, or like, okay, the region or the category or whatever it might be in the whole. So which one is the highest contribution, which one is the least contribution, this kind of things, if you want to show that, so then you'll go for the tree map without giving the numbers. By seeing only, if you want to understand which one is going to give you in which particular segment or whatever it may be, you have more sales. If you want to see that kind of things, you use this tree map, right? So let's go into that. Okay, so difference between duplicate and reference in Power Query. This question is completely on Power Query. And in Power Query, when you get a table, then you have two options. If you right click on that one, yep, yep, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, polarity. Yeah, go ahead. You can ask your question. Yeah, polarity. You raised your hand, you can ask your question. We can't hear you, right? Alright, okay. If you don't have question, please, okay, don't make this kind of things. Okay, so what is the difference between duplicate and reference? So if you have an answer, you can tell. If you have any doubts, you can ask in this one. So we generally, if you go for and right click on the table of in the Power Query, then obviously you can see two things. One is duplicate and the second one is reference. So let me show you that one also. So just give me a second. So probably I'll try to make this one to show you. So RBI also. So let me show you. Are you able to see the Power BI, Power BI desktop? Are people able to see the Power BI desktop?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so let's
Yeah,
go.
yes.
Yeah, let's go here and then show the transform data. So here you can see, if I right click, you can see both things, duplicate and reference. So both the things makes the same thing. Let me show you, but there is a small difference between them. So let me duplicate this one. So it is a duplicate table. So let me make it like okay D. Okay, duplicate order. And then I'll create another one which is like reference. So I'll double click on that one and then make it like reference things. So I do have like okay duplicate table and then reference table. So this is my orders table. This is my duplicate table, and then this is okay. This is my reference table. Both are same right now. So first of all, I'll you can see I do have row ID. Here also reference I do have row ID. In the orders table, I'll go and then I'll delete this row ID. What I've been done, I deleted the row ID and then I'll go for duplicate table. I do have the row ID. If I go for reference table, I don't have the row ID because it was deleted from the source. So reference means whatever the operations that you do in the source, okay, on the source table, so which we get okay referred from. So you will get the same things. What are the all the operations that will be replicated, and then after okay the output table that you'll get it over here. The duplicate table. So once you get duplicate again, you don't have relation between these two. So whatever you do in the orders table, that don't get replicated in this one. So hope you people are like, okay, got the thing. Okay, so what is the difference between duplicate and reference? If you have any doubts, you can ask me over here. Right, that's fine. And then we'll go into our, okay, so what are Power BI? So again, here, are you able to see my like PowerPoint presentation? The questions? Are you able to see my questions? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine. And then we'll go for visuals that you used. Obviously, you can tell okay, a lot of visuals that you used in your okay, real-time things. And then if you are good at some okay, custom visuals also, you can portray and then you can tell the questions that you already get into this. Okay. So again, so they asked what is field formatting and explain in scenario. So first of all, you need to have an idea like what is conditional formatting, and then in the conditional formatting, what are the options that you have. Generally, in the conditional formatting, you'll have like mm, what we call it as yeah, you'll have rules, you'll have gradient, and you have field formatting. Three things. So again, if you people know that, then okay, this will be easy to explain. So let me try to make you people to go and see what are they. Field formatting means obviously most of the times you'll write a measure. So based upon the expression or based upon the result of that particular measure, you can apply some field formatting. You can apply some colors, or you can apply something, font colors or something you can do. So based upon the result, if you want to change something, then you will use this field formatting a lot. This is nothing but a part of conditional formatting. So there are other things also like gradient and rules also we do have. Apart from that, this is other things, the third one, and then very important in your real-time scenario. You don't use the gradient or rules a lot of times. A lot of times you'll use the field formatting. For this, you need to have some like DAX knowledge. Using that DAX knowledge, you can do a lot of things in your things. Again, you can explain scenario. So let me give you a scenario about this. So what we can do over here. So let us suppose that I do have a couple of regions, and then I want to show what is the selected region in that one. So let me give you that example over here. So let me take 1 or 2 minutes to explain that in in Power BI desktop. So again, sorry for that. Again, we'll go for here. So I don't want to go over here. Close. Then again. So why it is not? So I'm not going to do anything here. I want to show some. Okay, so let me make it fast. A scenario. If it is, hope it will be useful for you. So region, and then I want to show in a card. Okay, first of all, I'll create a quick measure and then selected value of that one. Region. Selected value of that particular region. So region, and then I want to show it in a card visual. So you can take a card and then so in that card, I want to show that particular measure, whatever it is. So I don't select anything. I got like this blank. If I select something, I'll get that one. So whatever it might be. So I do have a condition like, okay, if my region is something, this one, I need to have this one in this color, this color, this color. So they told that kind of logic, and then I want to implement that one. Whenever it is central, I want to show it in a red color. Whenever it is east, I want to show it in a blue color. This kind of example, I want to show that. So for that, again, how we can do that again? If somebody joined, okay, please make yourself mute so that it doesn't make any disturbance for other people. So for that, again, I'll create another measure. So simply another measure. In that I'll write in, okay, another switch case. So color, so see where you are. And then in that I want to use switch. So again, and then selected value. So selected value of that particular region. If that is like, okay, so east, I want to make it like red color. So red color. So that's it. And then if it is like west, so I want to make it in green color. So that's another one. If it is like, okay, south. So again, let's make it in this one, south. Okay, so south. So south. And then I want to make it in blue color. So BLUE. So again, and after this, okay, if you want to like keep for all the rest things, if you want to keep, okay, another color, you can keep as else, or else you can make it for the central also. If you have a pre-designed color for that central, you can make it. Or else sometimes they'll tell that like I want to keep default color for, okay, other things. If east, then only I want to show red, and then if it is west, then I want to show these kind of things also will be there. Based upon that, you'll write the code over here. So again, for the central also, I want to make it so central also, and then you can make it like orange or ANG kind of things, and then you can finish if you have. So let me first of all do this, and then after that you can make a lot of other changes. So come over here and then go for this one. So you can go here and then the color is there in the FX. This is where you do like conditional format, make this property change under different conditions that you've defined. So if you click that one, then you'll have gradient, a lot of other things, but you can choose the field formatting, field value. And then you can choose the measure that you created. This is my measure, and then click OK. If you select the thing, okay, that will display in that color. So if I go for east, that will show in red. If I show for south, that will show in the south. If you go for west, that will show in the green. If you go for central, that is goes in the, that will goes in this one. And then I don't select anything, I'll go blank. And then here I need to write the blank also need to show if I don't select anything, the one that will see need to be in another one, in another color. So that also you can do out here. I don't want to like make it too lengthy. So so there is my color kind of things. Come out here. And else part you can write something like, okay, which color I do have. I don't know like which color to use over here. Yellow. Okay, so yellow. I want to use it yellow over here. Let's come out here, else part. So what are the other things? Okay, you'll get to know. So blank, you got it in the yellow color, right? Or else you get that color. So in that way, like you can use the field formatting again, not only for the color things, you can use a lot of things to show this one. So field format is used to show different ways. So you can use this kind. You can sell this kind of tell this kind of scenario to your into your whatever it may. One of the easiest. Okay, some of the scenarios that I'll tell, you can tell this scenario, and then if you want to like expand this, and then if you want to use this scenario to some other requirement, you can keep that, and then you can go ahead again. Someone, right? So explain one more time. So again, like polarity, you are going out and then coming in, going out and coming in. I hope so. Just be here and then listen. Again, repeating over here in this one will be difficult. You can watch this video. It will comes in the YouTube, my YouTube channel, maybe today or tomorrow, and then you can watch it again, and then you can work upon that in your Power BI desktop, because that doesn't make any difficulty or to the other people. So that's fine, and then we'll go into like our right the next question. So difference between stacked, clustered, and 100% stacked charts. Can anyone explain over here? Can anyone explain what is the difference between stacked, clustered, and the 100% stacked charts? So have you ever listened this one, or have you ever worked upon this one? Which charts will have options? This kind of options. Again, so a lot of mute. If anyone have an answer, you can go ahead. So we do have okay bar charts and column charts. You can see for bar charts and column charts, you have three different types. One is like stacked. So this is also stacked bar chart, stacked column chart. You see this is clustered bar chart, clustered column chart. This is 100% stacked bar chart and 100% okay stacked column chart. So again, you need to have an idea when to use this, when to use this. Okay, then only you can like make use cases of this one. So let me show you a different examples, okay, between them. So first of all, okay, so I'll take a column chart and then show you the difference between all the three things. So first of all, I want to take, okay, my regions. Yeah, let's go for okay year. And then, okay. Okay, sales, total sales, where is my total sales? Here is total sales. And again, in that, I want to make this one region as tax. So that's fine, right? And then can you people tell me like, okay, so in 2020, which region made more sales? By seeing this, can you people tell me which region made more sales in 2020?
West.
Are you sure? How?
Yeah,
How? It doesn't mean like if it is on the top, it doesn't mean that that is the maximum sales.
no, West was not.
By seeing, okay, is this that easy to compare between East and West
Yeah.
over here? No, that is very difficult, right? So if they are like one beside one, then you can make it. So what is stacked means one upon one. Stacking means you keep one upon one. All the region sales you kept one upon one on that particular year. So again, I'll make it the same thing, Control C and Control V, and then I'll keep it aside. And right now, I'll make that into like cluster column chart. And then right now you can feel in 2020, which one is okay having more sales. Can you compare here? This is lesser than this. So obviously, what is this one? This is West. So obviously, this is West. Right? This is how, like when you want to like by seeing only, if you want to make it compared, then you can make it like this. So or else if you want to make it in a stacked way, like if you prefer that, then it'll go. And then when you want to clearly compare without having the data values, if you have the data labels, you can see over here also, you can understand this. But without that, if you want to like make a display over here, then you can go with this particular things. Again, so what is the percentage of contribution of that particular region in that particular year? If you have this kind of scenario to analyze, then what you do, Control C and Control V, you go for the third one, 100% stacked chart. So here, if you use okay the data values, you can simply see this. What is the percentage of contribution? So you can see all the 20, all the 4 years or whatever it might be, you can see the values are 100%. We don't see this kind of like smaller, bigger, or whatever. But the contribution in that particular year, what is the contribution? So central contribution is 20%, and then this east contribution is 33%, 15% is the contribution of each and every region per year. They will equate that total sales of that year to 100%, and then they'll find the contribution of each region in that one. So if you want to like make this kind of difference, okay, then which one to use, which one right now you understood, and then you use that one. Generally, you use whenever you have female and male, and then what is the contribution, how much percentage of male and how much percentage of female are there. So this is one other example for 100% stacked chart. So when you have very clean near values, and then when you want to like compare clearly, then you use this one. Then generally we will use this one. So use cases are different for each and every one. And then based upon that, you can use this one. Again, this replicates same for bar charts also. Stacked bar chart. Okay, so clustered bar chart, and then 100% is bar chart. Hope you people understand a better way. If you don't, you can raise your hands, and then so that I can explain it some other way. If it is okay, then that's great. So we'll go into our questions. So hope you people understand this one. So what is a measure? Explain text functions that used. Anyone have an idea like what is a measure? A measure evaluates a single scalar output for the modified filter context or filter context for the filter context. It will evaluate an expression in a scalar output. It gives a scalar to give you a very simple understanding way. It gives a single scalar output for the filter context. Whether it might be external filter, internal filter, current context, whatever it might be, for that filter, it will gives you the output. Again, it gives only the scalar output. A lot of people think that no, like when I drop it in a table, it is going to give like a lot of values. That is not the cases. So let me explain you that also into my Power BI so that you'll have an idea. So here, first of all, I want to take a table, and then maybe it is going lengthier, but I'm trying to make it a very like explanatory way. If you don't want to like, okay, go with this much kind of explanation, I can simply go and show you all the questions, and then small answers I can give you, right? But I want to give you some explanation upon that so that you have detailed information of that, and then you can explain this way in your further interviews. Right here, I want to make it like a region, and then I want to show the total sales over here. So I'm dropping, like, first of all, let me show you another way. First of all, I could take a card, and then I'll go and then drop the same total sales. It's a measure, I'm dropping it. So you can see this is a calculate symbol, means it's a measure. I dropped over here, it is showing 2.30 millions. I dropped the same thing in this particular table. So let me take this one. So in this particular table, and then you see it is showing different values. I dropped the same value, I didn't make anything changes, right? Again, I want to take another table. In that, I want to go for different categories. Okay, so categories, and then right now I do have different categories. I'm dropping the same measure over here, and then it is also showing the different value. So I don't have only one value, but it is working like different ways in different scenarios. That is what the magic of measure. It works for that particular filter, applied filter. So here I don't have any filters. I just simply dropped over here. But here I do have internal filters or current context working over here. The measure feels that it need to calculate the sales only for the central in this particular row. And then it feels that, okay, for the total sales, they applied a filter of central. And then I want to show only the central sales, it is showing. Again, it will come to the second row. And here the current context or internal filter will be applied on that one as east. So the total sales will be shown only for the east. So for each and every row, it feels that this one is only available in for that particular expression. So it will calculate by taking this one as a filter. And if you have multiple fields over here, not on the region, if you have something, you will take both of them as filters, and then it will give you the output. So generally we'll do the filtration like calculate a total sales for when region is equal to central. So what is the value that you'll get? The same value that you'll get in this particular calculation. If you want that kind of calculation individually, you can make some filter. Calculate function you can use. Calculate total sales, and the filter is orders region should be equal to like central. Then you'll get this one. Again, orders region is equal to east. If you find that, if you give that kind of calculation, then you can get. But when you drop the measure simply over here, so obviously this particular field is individual field value is applying as a filter to this, and then it is calculating that. So whenever you drop with different fields, in different tables in different fields, it will calculate by taking that value as a filter to this, and then it will evaluate the single scalar output. You don't feel that this is going to give you values for each and every row, not like that. So it is taking this filter, and then for that filter it is giving the output. So this is the difference between column and measure. A lot of people get confused. In the column also, for whatever the values that we do have, you're getting the some other values in another column. But this is not exactly the same thing. People get confused a lot. If you understand this one, so obviously you can get this answer. What is the difference between measure and column? What is the measure? And then again, so again, the part of the question is what are the text functions that you used? You can tell a lot of text functions. You can go start from concatenates and a lot of functions. You have left, right, and then if you have length function, you have like, okay, so find function, search function, clean function, you have replace function, mid function, and then substitute function. So you have like repeat function. You have a lot of other functions, right? So you can use all these text functions and then explain them. While explain, you need to have a minimum knowledge of them. So when, which case that you used all these things that you need to explain, right? So again, I will go for our, okay, so things. So are you people able to see this particular questionnaire? So here, difference between, again, the very next question, if they are going to ask you what are the text functions, the very next question will be like, they're supposed to ask you some difference in that one. Generally, they'll ask for, okay, find and search, and also they'll ask for concatenate, and then combine values. What is combine values and concatenate? And they might ask you concatenate and concatenate X. They might ask you like find and search. Okay, they might ask you like trim and clean. They might ask you like difference between replace and substitute. So if you go through the syntax, then only you can understand what is the use case and the difference between them. So let me go with that a bit. So let me go for here, and then let me show you. So I'll try to write a measure, not exactly completely. So, okay, so let me take and show you that. So where is this one? Just a minute. So let me fully charge my laptop. So pulled out my charging cable. So that's fine. And then what is that? What we are supposed to teach? Yeah. So replace. If you see the function replace, okay, what does it mean? Like replace part of the text string within different text string. So let's go with that. And then what are the things that we have? Old text, starting point, number of characters, and new text. So let's make this one old text. So I do have, okay, Power BI with, okay, PRASAD. This is my old text. So from that, I want to start from the starting position. So I want to make it seventh position. So I want to start with seventh position. The number of characters I want to make it like comma, and then I want to take two characters. In that particular two characters, I want to delete that, and I want to keep, okay, some other things. What is that? Why not able to comma? And then I want to give my two text. So I want to give it like this, BI. So what I'll get? So measure again. So let's make it this replace. So you can make it like, okay, replace, so that we can remember that what is that. And then I want to show that one over here. So in a measure, I want to show that one replace. So what is this? Replace. And then you have that one, Power BI. In the place of small BI, I just replace with that one, right? Or else like you can make a lot of things over here. So again, I want to create another measure for you people for the substitute. Here, right? So let's make it like that, substitute. again, sorry. Substitute function in that the text part that you need to write. So RBI, okay, with Prasad. So in that one, whole text I want to take. So okay, whole text. So again, obviously follow the intelligence. This will help you a lot to write your code. So my code is this one. This is what I want to remove, and then what I want to keep. Like I want to keep, okay, this cap BI. Both things will do the same, but the use case will be different. So again, let me copy this and then paste this. And then in that, I want to use this substitute function. So where is this substitute? Not. Both the things give you the same answer, output, but the use case is here in the replace. So when you know, like, okay, the starting character where from where, now how many characters that you want to delete, use this one. When you know from seventh character, I want to delete 2 characters, then I want to, in that particular place, I want to keep this BI. So this is how you do. Then whenever you don't have, like, okay, the numbers where you need to start and then how many letters that you want to delete, this concept that if you don't know this kind of concept, only you know, like, what part you want to directly delete, you know the part, then you will go for substitute. This is the key difference. In replace, you need to know, like, from which part position you need to start and then how many characters that you want to delete, that positions and number of characters that you need to know, then you'll go for that. If you directly know which characters that you want to delete, which string that you want to delete and which string that you want to replace, then you go for substitute. Again, in the substitute, you have another important thing that you need to make it here. I don't want to make it like BI. I want to make it like T. Whenever I have T, I want to show, like, okay, so I want to show at the rate. So I want to show hash mark. Whenever I have P, I want to show hash mark. So let's go with this example. So again, whenever I have P, I'll have hash mark. Again, here every time, okay, if you do the same thing in this one, so that is not that easy to make it, right? Whenever I have P, I want to do, okay, make it this one. This is not possible over here. This is possible over here. Again, here in this one, I do have a third option, which is optional. Here, I don't want to, like, make it for each and every P. I want to make it like only whenever I have, like, second occurrence of P. I do have 2 P characters over here. So I want to make it only for the second one. So you can see. Yeah, for this. Or when I have small P, then I want to make it like capital P. That is my thing that I want to make it. In both the places, I do have small letters, small case, but whenever I have the second small case of P, you can see I got this one. The first, because small case of P is remain the same. The instance also is there. So this is the key differences between them. You need to understand. So whenever, so if you have, like, okay, numbers, number of characters, and then the starting position, you can use replace and then substitute. You can, when you know that the particular text that you want to delete and then replace text, then you can use this one. Again, in this one, this is the advantage where you can do the instance. As per instance, you can change something, you can do over here. These are the key difference that you people need to know. Again, let me go for the questionnaire. So hope you people understand what is the difference between them. So modifier filter functions. Okay, so anybody have an idea, like, what are the modifier filter functions? So again, I don't want to make you, okay, think a lot. Okay, so I'll explain that. So we have 2 modified filter functions. So generally they are also called as filter functions, but most of the times they are called as modified filter functions. So keep filters and remove filters are modified filter functions. So modifiers also will call it as. So keep filters and remove filters. So the functionality, how they work, if you understand, then you can, like, feel the difference of, okay, the other functions and these functions. Even though when, okay, the other functions are applied, this will be constantly keep that modified filter, whatever it might be. If it is keep filter, if you want to remove the filter, it will like make sure that the filter has been removed, even though the other filters are applied or not. That is the difference. And then if you practice that, you can keenly understand what is the difference between that one or not. Like, if you want, I can explain it, but we'll make it at the end of the session so that, okay, other people, if the people who know this one, they can go with, okay, the answers. Again, Explain row level security. So you can tell that what is row level security, why we use them, and then like what happens in that one. So if you have a situation that if you want to show a limited data to like a particular person or someone else, then you can create rules, and then based upon that you can limit the data, and then you can secure the data. Like if you don't want to show all the data to some people, then you can restrict the data, and then you can show only that data. That is called like row level security. Row level. We will secure the data in the row level. So how many rows, what are the rows that you want to show to them? Okay, based upon that, the evaluation calculations will be evaluated. So that is what the row level security is. And again, can we do page level security in Power BI? If yes, how? So very rare question, and then very good question. Very rare question. You do this kind of things in your real-time project very rarely, but this is very good question. A lot of people will ask you to find whether you are very good at row level security and other DAX concepts. And then again, regarding this, I hope, yeah, we have been done a video on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and then see that one. So I'll try to give that particular link in the description of this video also when we post this in YouTube. So you can watch over there how to create page level security in Power BI also, right? Not only row level security, page level security you can create. For that you need to have some logical kind of things and a lot of other calculations, a lot of other things that you need to do. So again, you can see that from the video, from the description, okay, of this video. Go ahead and then see this video in the YouTube, and then you'll have all the content material regarding this particular things, and then video links regarding this particular examples. You can see all those things in the description. Again, rank X, then will you create it in a column or measure and then find ranks upon two field contexts? So maybe one question after one question they asked, and then I hope it was done in this way. So explain rank X. Rank X is nothing but, okay, simply you can tell that when you want to find rank upon a particular expression based upon the context, whatever the context in that particular position is there, field values, based upon that, some expression, if you wanted to show the rank in ascending or descending way, you can show. Again, in that one, we do have two optional things, which is like the skip and dense. So you can also explain that if you have a knowledge on that one. Dense will gives you, when you have common values, it will show the same rank, but for the next rank, it will show, okay, the very next rank. But when you go for skip, so if you have two common values, so second, okay, in the second rank, you have two common values. You'll get two twos, 2 and 2. And you don't get the third rank, you'll get the fourth rank, because already third rank you need to give third rank, but at that position you give the second rank because two values are same. So that is the reason why it skips the third rank, it gives you the fourth rank. That is what the skip option is, right? So you use that one, and then will you create a column create it in a column or measure? Generally, we don't go for the rank in a column, because that makes a lot of things that you need to do. First of all, if you want to summarize, and then if you want to like do some ranking for that, so let us suppose that I do have a lot of sales. I need to find the ranks for the subcategories for the total sales. So that kind of scenarios you get. Again, for that kind of scenarios, you can't make it in the column, because in the column you'll have like individual sales. No summarized sales will be available. To achieve that, again, you need to create another table, summarize a table, and then you need to create a column. Again, in that scenario also, you have some other difficulties. If you filter the subcategory in your visual, again, the ranks will get also filtered, and then you don't get exact values. So I do have 17 categories, and then if I filter that kind of thing, the subcategories, again, I don't get exactly values. So the values what are there in the columns, okay, if you filter, that values will come 1, 3, 5, 7, like that. Again, that should not be done over here. Whatever the values you select from the external filters, for those values in the table, you need to show the ranking. Again, for that reason, you need to create a measure. Again, creating a ranking in the measure. A lot of people do the expression in the ranking function, but okay, don't do that. If you do the expression in the ranking function, you don't get the answers perfectly. So whatever the expression that you want to keep in that one, you create a measure for that, and then use the measure over here, because rank X is very big function. Every time you need to iterate the entire table a lot of times. So this is also like performance kind of things. So I'm giving you that hint also, like you can tell this one also to your interviewer get very comfortable, and then they feel very confident that you are very having good knowledge. So when you have this kind of knowledge, you need to share. That is very important. Performance wise also, like you'll have a lot of things. So obviously we can create a measure for the expression, and then you can use the measure over here without, rather than writing the entire expression over here, sum of sales. Don't write that in the expression. You write it in another measure and then use the measure in the rank X. You can get the answers very happily. Again, while creating rank X as a measure, obviously I told you like measure will take the context as filter. So again, you'll get for each and every context, you'll get one rank only. That is the difficulties that you'll face while you're creating rank X. So obviously, if you want to keep the current context, or else if you want to avoid the current context, so you need to avoid that current context at that one. So obviously, to avoid the current context, we do have a function like all select. All select of that column, you'll take it as a table for the rank X, and then we'll create that. That is the thing. And then we do have a, a, a related video also in our YouTube channel on rank X. Go ahead and see that one so that you'll get cleared a lot of questions regarding rank X. So we explained this kind of scenario also in our real-time videos earlier. So go ahead, I'll try to like ping that one in the description. You can find it over here, the description of the video, that particular rank X function. Right, let's go into like, okay, so how to find the sales, okay, from current date to end of month. This is the DAX function. They've been very small function. They asked you related to that date. Okay, so we can achieve this very easily. And then they're asked you like, because this is a small confusion is there in this particular requirement. So DAX scenario, people, everybody instantly end of month means they'll tell that I'll use, okay, for the current date, I'll use today, and then for the end of date, I'll use end of month. For the end of month, I'll use end of month function. We do have end of month function. And can we get the sales using end of month? Obviously wrong. That works for the current context. And here these people are wanted to show the sales from current date to like end of months. They did ask for the current context or whatever it might be. But the function end of month will works for the current context. So that's very difficult to like make it. So let me show you that so that you'll have an idea how to do this one. So again, what they are expecting, this one. Sales from current date to end of month. So end of month means you can't use the end of month over here in the function. So let me show you that. So how you use? First of all, let's think what is the way that you need to like give the answer for this one. So the way that you need to answer is also more important. If you don't answer in the proper way, they'll ask you to write the syntax very easily. First of all, you need to tell that, okay, I'll first of all filter the dates from, okay, current date to like end of month, and then I'll pass the filter to my calculate function, and then I'll calculate the total sales. This is what you need to tell, because in the calculate function, this part will be evaluated first, and after that, this expression will be evaluated. It doesn't evaluate this particular expression first, and then I'm sorry. And then after it will not do. First of all, whatever the filter is there, it will apply. Again, so what we need to do, first of all, how we need to like do these things in real time, that I'm going to tell you. Like it is going to be a little bit more time, but still I'm trying to explain it very in detail way. If you get any scenario, first of all, try to break the scenario into easier parts, and then you can combine later to achieve the answer very easily. First of all, I need to get the sales. So get the sales means sum of total sales. That is what we need to get. Again, that part we got it. Again, we need to get only for the dates from current date to like end of date. We know like how to find the current date. The current date. If you go for today function, it will give you the current date, and the sales up to from current date to like end of month. So again, how to find the end of month. So as I told you, can't use the end of month function. That works for the current context. We don't have any current context over here. So if you want to use that end of month, I'll show you one thing. So I'll create another measure so that it will give you more thing. So end of month. If you go and then see that end of month, okay, end of month equal to end of month, and then the dates it is asking order date. Let's make it like order date. So for this order date, so what it is asking, just to go ahead and see this one. Keep the comma, it is asking. It is asking dates. A lot of people think that, sir, I'll keep today over here. doesn't accept today because it needs dates, not a single day. So that is where people stop and then like they'll think, right, I didn't get the answer, how it should be done. First of all, you need to see the things. RB intelligence will obviously tells you what you are trying to write over there and then what it gives you. If you follow this, you can understand. So again, you can't give a single date, you need to give multiple dates. So again, for that thing, if you drop it in a like in a table or something else, for that current context, it will work. So let me make it like, okay, order date. So order date. So again, sorry, order date. So again, if you go for this, so where is that? End of month. Okay, let me take another card. So explain that over here. So where is my end of month? And then see, it is going to give my total, okay, end of month. So again, I don't want to get, okay, all these things. So end of month, I want to get only, okay, my short date. So very short date. I want to get this one. So I'll get that short date. So it is giving the end of month means, okay, whatever the last end date in that particular entire calendar. And then if you want to see what's happening in this one, so let me drop that order date and then I'll show you how it works. End of month. So if you choose for this one, it will works obviously for current context. Whatever the context is there, whatever the filter applied to this measure, it will works for that. If you don't have any current context for the entire period, what is the last end of month, it will give you. Again, you can see for each and if you go for year, for each and every year, what is the end of month it is showing. And if you go for okay, quarter wise, what is the end of that particular quarter, it is showing. If you go for month, then what is the end of that particular month, it is showing. So for January 31st, 2019, for February 31st, 28 to within. It will obviously works for the current context, but we don't need that one over here. We don't have any current context over here, so we can't use that one, and we don't have any dates over here. So this is why we can't use the end of month over here. If you know this functionality, then you can understand. Again, that is the reason why a lot of times I tell you, like, only by seeing the videos outside, you can't learn real-time Power BI. You need to have a mentor, or else you need to have someone who need to assist you every time while you get any each and every requirements, then you can master in Power BI. So learning things in Power BI, for that, again, like, don't think that I don't want to invest anything. I'll just get some videos from somewhere else, and then even though if it is from my videos, or else even though if it is from master videos or whatever it might be, by seeing the videos, okay, you can't master Power BI. Like even cracking the interview somewhat maybe happens, but some people will also get difficulties out there. That is the why a lot of people getting difficulties in the outside. And then surviving the real time is more difficult if you go through only through videos. So don't think in that way. Like, okay, think in this way that if you spend something, or if you not only to spend something, you can go for a mentor. So who, maybe your friends or whoever, who can explain the Power BI in detail way. If you learn from them, so that they'll be beside you, they'll mentor you, like, here you don't need, why you don't need, all these things. Again, all these things can't be, you can't even search. So when you find something difficult, you can't even search how to search. That requirement also very difficult for you to search in the YouTube. Again, no one is going to tell in this way, like, okay, so this is the way, this is where this is used, this is where this is used. This kind of difference, very rare people will explain in the YouTube. I'm not telling that I am the only one that I'm teaching in this way. A lot of other people, very experienced people are there, but they don't, I don't know like how many videos that they want. And then you can't find this kind of scenario where they explain. They might be explained while they go in some other video, they might explain, but you can't see all the 400, 500 videos in them. Most of the people, okay, will go with like 3 hours or 4 hour videos, okay, couple of videos, and then feel that they got the Power BI. Not that easy. Power BI is simple but not easy. You need to have a proper practice and proper way to go, and then only you can achieve that. So wherever you want to, like, okay, learn the Power BI, learn with a mentor or a trainer somewhere else, that will give you more comfortable way. Because I tell that in from since last 2021, 20% of the outage of the employees are there. Like, means once they got the job, okay, 20% of people are leaving the job. Either companies are taking them out, or they themselves feel that this is very difficult and they are going, because they don't practice that. They feel that it is very easy to get jobs, so they are somehow managing getting jobs, but surviving that one is, they'll ask you this kind of questions, and then you will stuck over there. Why I'm not getting end of month? Why are not getting end of month? That is very simple logic. It works with the current context. Again, you need to give the dates. You can't take the date function, single date function over here. For that, you need to go with some other things like this one. So again, end of month, where is this one? Sales up to end of month. Okay, I missed out somewhere else. So click on this one. Yeah, you can use this one function. So end of month, you can go end of month, and you can use end of month function, which will, for that, whatever the date that you're going to give, for that, what is the end of month? Either you can go forward or like, okay, backward in the days. So if you click on comma, and then you can see returns the date in the datetime format of the last day of the month, okay, before or after of a specified number of months. Whatever the months that you give, okay, those many months back or forward will go in when you. But I don't want to go for, okay, previous month or next month. I want to make it for the same month. So I gave 0 over here. From today, how many months I want to go back or forward? 0 months. Means for the same month, it need to give the end of month. So again, I want to calculate, okay, I want to find the dates between today and end of month. So I'll get all these dates. To see this, I'll create, okay, I have been created already a table, and then I'll show you that. So a table, and then you can see what is the result of this particular. This dates between of the same part I've been written over here. Dates between of order date and then today and then end of month. So from today to end of month. Here, I don't have the 15th date. So that is the reason why in my order date, I don't have 15th date. So I'm not getting that one. So in this case, generally we'll go for date dimension, and then we'll use that one, but I don't want to use that. So from here to here, what are the dates I do have, including the both the days, today and the end of month. Okay, we'll have this one. So once you use this one, you'll have this kind of filter. Again, you don't need to create a filter. You need to pass this as a filter to the calculate function to show you what are the dates that you'll get using this one. I'm trying to show you as a table, but we don't do this exactly. We'll go with this one, and then we'll see over here. So we are passing the filter. So only for this dates only, we are asking this calculate function to show this particular date, particular sales. So this is how you can show the dates between the current date and end of month. So first of all, you need to create a table of dates which they're asking, and then you need to pass that dates as a filter to the calculate function so that you can create this kind of things. So maximum all the date related operations you need to do in the same way. Sometimes you need to you'll have period. So from today, I want to like make it like 3 months of sales. So you can use dates of dates in period, and you can use that one. So a lot of scenarios. Based upon each and every scenario, you need to understand which function that you need to use. Then you can make these things happen. I'm sorry if it is lengthier, but still I want to give you more content over here, right? Again, how many dashboards did you create in Power BI desktop in your experience? What was, again, that is the first question, I hope, and then this is the second extension question of this particular scenario. So anybody have an idea like how many dashboards? If you want to answer this question, you can answer this question, generalize the question. Anybody? Anyone? Right? Okay, no issues. Like I'll give you only the answers. Okay, just try to give your answers so that you'll be more confident enough even in interviews also. Right? Don't be in mute stage. If you be in mute stage, okay, you'll get a situation to be in mute stage even in interviews also. Just feel it as an interview, and then you can answer your question so that I'll correct if you done any wrong, or else if you are perfectly right, then again that's fantastic. So first answer is no. Why? Because you can't create dashboards in Power BI desktop. A lot of people feel that, okay, we are creating dashboards. No, you're not creating dashboards in desktop. Power BI desktop, you can create only reports. If you want to create a dashboard, first you need to create a report, and you need to publish that into services. And then only you can create a dashboard in Power BI services. That is very confidently that you need to tell. They wanted to expert question or test your expertise, whether you really worked upon that or simply you're telling something which you don't know, like you're guessing. And then I done like 10 dashboards in my things. So that is the reason why I hope that they are included this part, Power BI in desktop, because you can't create Power BI dashboards in desktop. You can create dashboards only in Power BI services. Again, if you don't know a lot of things regarding dashboards in Power BI services, you're not going to handle the interview RB services, because most of the time they'll ask you a lot of questions on dashboards, a lot of questions, because then you need to have a real-time experience, then only you can understand how this happens. This is what we explain in detail. Entire Power BI services will teach in our sessions from top to ending. From top to ending, we'll teach Power BI services in our real-time projects also. Right? In our regular batches, in the real-time things also, we'll explain all these things entirely. Not only regarding the dashboards, complete Power BI services will explain that, top to bottom. So let me explain you over here. So we can create dashboards only in services once you create a report. Again, there are a lot of other questions they will ask you, like, can we get visuals from two dashboards? So how can you create a dashboard? So how many pages can you create in a dashboard? Or else like, like what kind of visuals that you can get in dashboards? Will is the dashboard static or dynamic? Is the dashboard filtered based static or dynamic? So lot of questions they'll ask you. So if I filter some other visual, so I got like this visual also filtered. If I pin that visual, how it looks like? Will that look like? Again, what if I click on the dashboard? If you click on any visual, what happens like that? And again, what visual you use to filter sales by region in dashboard? Again, very good question. Very good question. What visual do you use to filter sales by region in a dashboard? Obviously, everyone feels that we use slicer. Very good, but you can't use any filter in dashboard. First thing is, this is the question for this one. You can tell that, sir, we can't do this because you can't use filters in dashboards. If you want to filter the visual, you need to filter it in the report only, and then you need to pin that one so that whatever the result that after the filtered content, the result whatever you get, that one you can show in the dashboards. Again, that is static. You can't make it dynamic. Even if you filter in the report again, it doesn't make any changes over there in the dashboard. So a lot of things that you need to understand over here. So maybe I'm not showing anything for this one. So I'll try to make service Power BI services video also later, and I'll show you that. Or else you can join in our sessions also for this kind of questions. Okay, you can learn entire Power BI. Or else you can, if you want to have any real-time experience, you can join our real-time Power BI batch, which will be like around 7 days, and then you can learn a lot of things, real-time things, how to job assistance, how to prepare your resume, how to get more calls, how to prepare your profile, how to give your interviews, what are the tips and tricks that you need to learn. So real-time scenarios, real-time tweaking things, answers, questions, lot of dumps, lot of material. So all these things that we provide. If you want, you can just contact on this number. Again, some not more commercials. Again, I hope this is the end of the questionnaire. I hope so. Again, I'm sorry. So yes, we do have another question. I hope. What are the licenses that you used, and then have you worked on paginated reports? Again, most of the times you people tell that you worked on Pro because you are trying to showcase your experience. So the people who really worked on different licenses, that is great. And then first of all, you need to have an idea what is the difference between licenses. Again, that is also one of the question over here. If you know the difference between what is the licenses, so Pro and the Premium. In the Premium, we do have per user and content also. Again, don't tell that you use per user, Premium per user, because that was recently came in that if you tell that I used in my very first project, I used Premium per user, they'll just kick off the interview because that was came maybe before 4 years or 5 years before that was not there, and then you can't tell that one earlier. So just remember which one came at what time, and then you need to tell. So as per my suggestion is to go with Pro license, and then you need to tell, you need to understand then obviously they'll ask what is your file size, what is the biggest file size that you want. So again, you just tell that 2 GB or something else, and then again you're out, because in Pro license you can use for one model not more than 1 GB. So obviously you need to tell 700 to 800 MB that you work the most in your earlier projects if you use import mode, right? So what is the mode that you used, and what is the data file size that you created, and how many reports that you used, that you created, what kind of reports that you used, and then what is the visuals that you used. So how many dashboards that you created, from how many visuals that you got, visuals to one dashboard. Can we get multiple reports from multiple dashboards, multiple reports to one dashboard? And then how many pages that we can create in dashboards? Some of the questions, there are they'll ask you wantedly the wrong answer, wrong question, and then you need to tell that no, this is not possible over here. Yes, this is possible here in some scenarios, and then how you can do that. They'll ask you in both the ways. They'll try to make you in such a way that you'll tell yes. So here you can see, have you worked, what is the license that you used? You tell that pro. Have you worked on paginated reports? Yes, you tell that yes, I've been using. Then ask you like, okay, so in the pro license, you use a paginated reports. How you do that? You'll simply tell that I'll create a paginated reports and deploy in that. So that is completely wrong. In pro license, you can't create a paginated reports. In the premium only, you can create a paginated reports. Again, to create a paginated reports, you need to have an experience and report builder that is out of Power BI again. But still, you need to have an idea, right? So difference between license, you need to have a difference between a license. I'll try to post this content material in the description of this video once it is uploaded to YouTube. You can find this either by today or tomorrow morning in the YouTube. And then my YouTube channel is Power BI with Prasad. You can just go and subscribe to them, or else again, if you are already subscribed, that's fine. You can go and watch the video once it is uploaded again. So as we discussed, I'll give you some other content also, which is very useful for any other video, any other interview. So first of all, keep in mind, try to build a good 3 scenarios in each and every topic, in Power Query, in modeling, in DAX, in visualization. If possible, try to create visual customization concepts. Again, we teach those kind of things in our projects and courses also. So if you are good at visual customization, definitely that makes a very good impact in your interview. Definitely they'll go to keep your resume aside, and then they'll hold it. Even if you tell a lot of wrong answers, if you are good at like visual customization, they'll keep your resume, because very less people will do this. And then you can see very less content on visual customization in YouTube. Very less content, but we will teach it in our sessions regarding these things. If you are good at that things, you will only feel very comfortable. Not custom visuals, visual customization. There is a difference between custom visuals and visual customization. Visual customization means converting a default visual or else native visual into something else. If you show the visual somewhere else, they can't tell what visual is that. You can make like that. And not native visual, normal visual also, you can make it into something different. That is what we call visual customization. A lot of visual tweaking using some DAX, some basic of DAX using something, we can do this kind of visual customization. This also, if you can explain this kind of things in your interview, that's fine. Whenever you need to understand things like, you need to tell at least 3 good DAX scenarios with the syntax. While you explain how I explain, you need to explain very clearly so that they don't ask you to write the DAX. If you make them difficult to understand, they'll ask you to write the syntax. A lot of people tell that, sir, I am not in the laptop. Then they'll ask you, go, if you're in mobile also, you can go for the chart and you can write it over there. Then you will be like, okay, face difficult over there. But still you can practice that, you can write it also. So after that, you can go for row level security, and that is very important topic. You need to tell how you can create dynamic row level security. That kind of video also is available in our things. You can go ahead and look into our YouTube channel again. So if you want to get, okay, what is the differences between Power BI licenses? We do have Pro and then Premium. Pro, like I'll give you 4 or 5 important differences between them. So again, in Pro license, you have one model, okay, maximum size is 1 GB, and then in Pro Premium, we do have 400, like 100 TB, and then not TBs, okay, and then the maximum size is like 10 GB for all the including all the reports, and then here we do have like hundreds of TBs, like 400, and then like cost is like $9 over here per premium per user. You have $20, and then premium per capacity, it is very huge cost, like $4,995. Again, you need to have the idea like, okay, so you create a report in Power BI Pro license. The viewer that they wanted to see the report, what license does they need to have? This kind of questions you'll have. So then you need to tell like, okay, if you are creating a report in Power BI Pro, the user also need to have a Power BI Pro. If you are creating the Power BI Premium license, again, you don't need to have any license at all, because you are creating it a premium space. So obviously, these kind of things you need to have an idea. So when to use this one, when will use companies will use that one. So all the things, I'll try to ping all this, okay, differentiations or this comparison kind of things in the description. So That kind of documentation also provided in the description, so you can watch from that. I'm sorry, watch from that. Right. So from this particular interview, you have been gone through like okay, a lot of topics: data abstraction, data visualization has been done, Power Query asked questions, and then DAX functions, differences, and then scenarios they've been asked, and then Power BI services also they asked. All these things has been covered in this interview. So these are the topics that you need to cover. Okay, so there's nothing more else remind that to learn in the Power BI, but as this is a tool, this is limited, you can learn very easily all these things. Okay, if you people are good at, then definitely. So follow my videos and follow my webinars and join in my Telegram group so that you can have okay a lot of things. My Telegram group is like Power BI Prasad, and then YouTube channel is Power BI Prasad. You can join in both of them and subscribe that. And also like one more time, so we are going to start regularly our Power BI and SQL batches and then real-time project batches also very soon. So interested people can come and then join us to master our expertise in Power BI so that you can get jobs easily and then you can survive in real time very easily. Yeah, Shailendra, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. What's your question? Is anything else?
Yeah,
Shailendra?
hi sir. Sir,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, in case of real scenarios in real time,
Hmm.
so that the data which we get from the clients, within
Mhm.
the data we will edit to the format, or we can take a copy of that and we can
No, it
do the
depends upon
changes.
it depends upon again. If you want to change it over here in the Power BI, you can change it because it doesn't replicate in the source. First of all,
Okay,
you will ask the client and then you will go ahead. And then again, if they don't want to like change at that instance, then you can make a staging copy. You can make a copy of that one again. You can use. And after that also, you don't want to like get the original copy into Power BI. You can just make it up to that Power Query only. You don't get that one. That is also you can do. Like I'll explain that a bit. Okay, so that you can understand. So there
okay,
is an
sir.
option. There is an option over here. So simply in Power BI. So if you go for transform data, so here, so sorry. So transform data, you might have the like 2 to 3 tables. Okay, so I don't want to get okay this order table. I want to get the duplicate table only. So what you can see enable load. So that okay for this table I don't enable load. So this won't get it. Okay, so this don't get okay enabled loaded into our Power BI. Only these two will get labeled. So in this way also you can do a lot of things. Whenever you don't want to like get this into like Power BI, Power Query is the earlier part of Power BI. So if you want to stop the data up to here, also that doesn't replicate in your memory. So that is what you need to do that. And again, enable load or include refresh report. And then if you enable the load, but still if you don't want to make it like include refresh report. So when you refresh this, okay, this data won't be refreshed if you uncheck this one. So these are the things that you need to learn in these things, all these things that we teach in our sessions. So again, don't think that I'm trying to promote my classes or whatever it might be, but still what we teach, I'm just telling you. So all these things you need to have an idea, then you can make this everything possible. So this is, you feel that Power BI is very easy and you'll get like not only one, 3 to 4 options you'll have, and then you can choose from them which company you want to go. This is how our students make. They'll have like 2 to 3 hours in like 1 month, and then they'll choose one of them and they'll go there. So first of all, you need to learn all the things. This Power BI is not that difficult. If you learn properly, you can feel. If I explain that okay, contextually for 3 to 4 hours, you get a lot of things. But this is not the right time to go with all those things. So you need to learn in a proper way. Like if you go with the videos, then you can't see all of them because we teach a lot of them in like other things also. We do have okay some other sessions, and then okay, we do have after the session they'll ask questions for that example. We'll give every day we'll have like Q&A sessions, and then in that we'll give a lot of good content to them. All this doesn't comes in the videos. Again, maybe you can follow very good people's videos. So a lot of like okay, so MVP's videos, they know everything, but they won't be when they got that kind of situation, they'll explain you that. Again, all those doesn't may not come in each and every video. And then again, to see all their videos also, you don't have enough time. They may made it like 400, 500 videos. If you watch all of them, you may really get good examples. But again, you don't have that much time. Obviously, you'll make like 10 to 20 videos and you will feel that you are good and perfect at like Pargate. You'll go and start interviewing, and then again, every interview you lose for 10 to 5 to 10. Obviously, you'll use if you learn okay using videos. And after that, you feel that you're not getting calls because you already lost 10 companies and you lost the companies which regularly post offers. You might lost with Infosys, you might lost with TCS, you might lost with like Wipro, with this thing, and then with Hitachi, Tech Mahindra, a lot of things like you might have missed opportunities from 10 companies. And then definitely you don't get calls because these 10 companies repeatedly like post requirements. If you lose requirements from this company, obviously the other companies will have like a very less number of recruitments. I'm not telling only these are recruiting, a lot of other companies are recruiting, but still usually your thing will drop. So you feel that this is not for me, and then again you don't apply a lot because you already applied it earlier, and then you don't get qualified in them. Your interest will get dropped, and then you'll leave the Power BI side, and then you'll like move into some other thing. That is what happens to each and everyone. And everyone feels that what you do in your real time to get more calls. Everyone tells that, sir, daily I'll upload. Only simply applying, you don't get calls. You need to spend 3 to 4 hours, at least 3 to 4 hours only for applying. Then only you'll get calls. Right? All these things we'll explain in our real time things. So if you really wanted to learn all these things, just inquire the number that you are able to see or share in this particular screen. Right? So again, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or else like we can light it up over here. So any questions, anyone? So if you are still watching this video, I hope you like this video. Please like the video, subscribe the video, and then share it to other groups. I hope that if you feel really happy, and then if you can give me more thumbs ups, then I can try to make more videos like this. So if you want to appreciate my effort, please try to make a thumbs up on my YouTube channel. And again, one more question. Let me stop it.